This is a multimedia presentation by Tawana Stiff. Tetrad for the overhead projector. With regards to enhancements, the overhead projector phased out standard dry erase boards and chalkboards because it allowed pre-written lessons to be projected, as well as images, work pages, charts, and diagrams. In terms of the reverses, it will likely be replaced by technologies that have the capacity to project, write on, and highlight material without having to erase or rinse messy transparency forms. In terms of retrieves, this brings to mind the constant erasing and rewriting that eventually led to the phasing out of chalkboards and dry erase boards to begin with. As a result of District 187's recent investment in document cameras and Promethean boards, the overhead projector is phasing out rather quickly. Although the projector has been very useful in terms of allowing teachers to project images and incorporate some means of educational technology, it simply cannot compete with the more recent innovations such as those earlier mentioned. Limited to only projecting transparent objects, this innovation is being phased out by projection devices that can project practically anything from worldwide web pages to real-time images within the classroom. In the following video clip, Michael Grinda, principal at Neil Math and Science Academy, discusses how replacing the overhead projectors with document cameras enhances the educational process.
With our science department's recent purchase of document cameras for the classrooms, as an administrator, I do feel this new integration will enhance the educational process in two ways. First off, for a teacher, I believe it saves quite a bit of time. We don't have to spend numerous hours writing on transparencies and getting them ready for the overhead. We can simply put something up that we have on our iPad, show it off the document cam, and the kids can see it in real time, if you will. For students on that end, in regards to that angle, I think the biggest thing is teachers can show their students what they want from the beginning. Example, let's look at study tips. A teacher can show best way to outline a particular piece of knowledge or information, or how to outline in general when reading. They can also show the students how to maybe pinpoint essential information in their readings, and the document cam is a way for us to kind of coincide with one another at that very moment, in that real-time moment. It's not the teacher prepping always and just having it all together. It's that learning process where they can engage in real time. So I really do think the document camera will help us now and in the future.
Tetrad for document camera. With regards to enhancements, the document camera allows pre-captured images to be projected to a large group. Unlike the overhead projector, which was eventually phased out due to the fact that it could only project items that were transparent or printed on a transparent form. The reverses that will likely result in this innovation being replaced will most likely be some type of built-in camera that smart boards, Promethean boards, or other interactive whiteboards come pre-equipped with, that dissolve the need for a standalone document camera. Possibly projection devices capable of X-ray or 3D imaging capabilities could possibly replace the need for a document camera, but I don't see that happening anywhere in the near future. In terms of the retrieves, this brings to mind devices such as the webcams that were originally standalone devices but are becoming more and more popularly installed within computers. Unlike the former overhead projector, the document camera can project practically anything. This greatly impacts the educational process, as both teachers and learners can gain access to and project online resources. This device also allows teachers and students to highlight and edit information on projected documents without actually marking up the original. In the following video clip, Nicole Patterson, a teacher at Neil Math and Science Academy, discusses the benefits of replacing the overhead projector with the document camera.
Our school recently purchased document cameras for the science department. However, if I had a choice, I would purchase it for the entire school, especially the language arts department. I feel that the document camera is a very useful technology tool because it allows the teacher to quickly show a document instead of using the overhead projector or making numerous copies for the classroom.
To properly analyze why the overhead projector has become obsolete, one must consider the 6 forces of emerging technologies. In the Module 3 Resources for Educational Technology Course 7108, Dr. David Thornburg refers to 6 forces to describe how they each play a role in the development of new technologies and the phasing out of old ones. Above are questions that may have led to the eruption of these forces, which in turn resulted in the phasing out of the overhead projector. The force of evolutionary technologies is useful for explaining why the overhead projector originally emerged. Because transparencies can be printed on, it allowed the repeated use of pre-printed materials in lieu of rewriting the same things over and over, as was not the case with the former whiteboards and blackboards used in many classrooms. The rhymes of history did not necessarily play a role in the overhead projector's emergence, since it was the first of its kind in the educational realm. However, both of these forces are useful in explaining how the overhead projector's replacement, the document camera, came into existence, since the integration of fresh and new ideals led to the development of an enhanced projection device that no longer would require the use of transparencies. The force of disruptive technologies is not very useful in explaining how the overhead projector emerged, since there was already a form of projections being utilized by police and World War I soldiers prior to its classroom use. However, science fiction definitely played a role, since the illumination light image projections used in classrooms differed from the projection procedures used by police in their identification work. In terms of the document camera, science fiction played a role, since technological advancements were what allowed the enhancements to be made to the newer projection device. Yet again, the disruptive technology played no part, since projecting wasn't some out-of-the-box or new and unexpected phenomenon. Rather, the document camera simply served as an enhanced version of its predecessor, phasing out the use of messy transparencies and allowing for real-time projections. The force of the Red Queens is major here. Dr. David Thornburg makes a reference to a statement made by the Red Queen in Through the Looking Glass that suggests technology must develop at a rapid rate to compete with other popular technologies. In turn, this competition results in an expansion of some sort. For example, as both interactive whiteboards and document cameras are able to be used in conjunction with the World Wide Web, it is only a matter of time until the list of things that can be accessed on the World Wide Web expands even further. The mere fact that the old overhead projector could only be used with transparencies clearly disqualifies it from even being a part of this race to maintain its status as a current educational technology. Without the ability to access resources beyond the classroom, the overhead projector just simply does not offer the same increasing returns as the document camera. Now, the great thing about increasing returns is that it is based on the consideration of returns provided by more than one competing technology. The ideal of a standalone projector is great, since it can serve its purpose without an interactive whiteboard or computer. However, what resulted in the phasing out of the overhead projector and emergence of the document camera is the fact that its independent functions can be enhanced with the use of an interactive whiteboard or computer, whereas an overhead projector's independent functions cannot. In summary, the overhead projector has definitely served its purpose. It was a very effective classroom tool up until the 1990s when it began to phase out due to the rising popularity of interactive whiteboards and document cameras. As we review the 6 forces collectively, we see that just about all 6 played some part in the phasing out of overhead projectors and the emergence of document cameras. Due to the fact that the overhead projector lasted for half a century before phasing out, it is not very likely for its enhanced replacement to end up in the supply closet anytime soon. With a wide range of uses and easy mobility, it is hard to imagine what kind of technology might obsolete the document camera. The only innovation that comes to mind at this time is possibly interactive whiteboards that come equipped with built-in document cameras to phase out the purchase of standalone cameras. But then that would eliminate the easy mobility of the current standalone device. As a 21st century educator, I have the opportunity of having first-hand experience with educational technology, and one thing that I have come to realize is that technology never stops changing and evolving. So as a futurist, I believe it is important to acknowledge the fact that technology does need to be periodically updated to keep up with the times. Yet, it is not necessary to run out and spend thousands or even millions of dollars on every new innovation that hits the market. In light of future generations, it is critical to invest in innovations that have potential to stand the test of time. This, I believe, will make the transition for end users a lot simpler as they prepare for the enhanced version of replacements of the current technologies. As long as the technology within Neil Math and Science Academy is updated every few years or so, I don't think the disruptive technology force will have any impact on our end users. However, when there is a huge gap in terms of technology that is being used and technology that is available, then yes, there will be disruptive flow since end users will be forced to embrace several years worth of technological enhancements or advancements all at once. So in a nutshell, I say keep the equipment updated and keep end users abreast on what available technology is out there.